Hi guys, it's Colette. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to do another few questions and answers, and keep them coming. Keep them coming. Cut and paste them and put them into a file, and we'll keep going with them as long as they come in, which is fine. These ones are from Nina. Thank you, Nina, for your questions. The first one is, I had an imaginary friend as a child, as many do. Could these be our spirit guides or other spiritual beings, family maybe? So that's one question. I believe that a lot of imaginary friends, excuse me, are some sort of spiritual phenomenon. Children have great imagination, so yes, they can imagine an imaginary friend as such, and that is very, very common. But a child with an imagination might not be able to give too much detail on on what is their imagination, especially a younger child that maybe doesn't have the words or the complex things to say what they're imagining. So I believe that a lot, excuse me, I've been talking too much today. I believe that a lot of imaginary friends come to very lovely, spiritually aware children. My White Storm, my guide, was with me from birth and grew up beside me as what my family would have seen as an imaginary friend. I played with him when I was little, and he was always around me. I just called him Ninjan Boy because that's the way I said Indian, was Ninjan, but my little Indian boy, so it was Ninjan Boy. And he was there and I played with him a lot, and when I was a wee bit lonely at times or when I needed a lot of comfort, he was there. Also, I played with my sister who'd passed before I was born. Now, she was a family member, and so I've had two very distinct energies that could have been referred to as imaginary friends, but one was my actual spirit guide and the other one was a family member that used to come. I'd never met her, she died before I was born, but with both these energies I could describe to a T, or give like my sister's name, I could give that to my parents, which horrified them up to a point. But it was good and I enjoyed it. So yes, if you've got a child or a grandchild that has an imaginary friend, try and look a wee bit deeper. See if the detail that they're giving you is out with what would be that child's imaginary level for their age. So yes, Nina, I do believe that the imaginary friends can indeed be a spirit guide or a family member that's come back to play. You've got another question about rituals and meditation practices for different moon phases. That would need to be one on its own, so I'll put that in the bigger book. The third question, or the second one I'm answering, is I'm fascinated by spirits. Some say that we leave behind a residual energy when we pass to spirit. How do we know if we're seeing that residual energy or the spirit? Now that's a really good question, because lots of people don't know that when they say ghost as such, that there's two very distinct energies that can be ghostly as such. Now, obviously, a spirit can go over and come back and come back to us and appear to move or be around a space. That's fair enough. That's almost proven every day through mediums, etc. That you could turn, like I've turned many a time at family celebrations and seen my son in spirit grown up, and like, wow, now that was him, because he was never in this house, he never left a residual energy. He was visiting, but say the type of ghosts that are in like maybe medieval castles or whatever, these to me are more the residual energy type of ghosts. It's an energy imprint. So say a, a king that eventually was murdered was put in some sort of tower, and all that was done was he was allowed to walk along some battlements back and forth, back and forth. Um, there is that residual energy of that ghost or spirit, but it's not a real spirit as such. It's a residual energy, like you talk about. So a lot of ghostly sightings, particularly historical ones, I have no doubt are residual energies, and a lot of people don't like to hear that because they maybe go ghost hunting and try and get all this information off them, but they can't, because they are simply residual energy. And a residual energy can't talk to you, it can't give you information, it just is a residual energy. Like, you know, well, I don't know how you would describe it, but you know, like maybe if you put your boot on snow and it went down and then the ice came, there would still be that imprint, but you know, eventually it would get moved about and then it would go completely. That's not a very good analogy, but you know what I mean. So yes, how do you know the difference? I tried to teach this many years ago. I might try and find my notes on it actually. One of the things is that if you have a spirit showing themselves, you're more than likely, if you're very mediumistic, to feel their warmth of energy, feel their love, or feel their excitement of being there. You might find that a phrase goes into your head that they used to talk about, you know, and there's a sense of warmth, of connection with a spirit who's coming back to visit. Um, and you can only really understand that by feeling it, but believe me, it's an interaction. Um, but a residual energy, you don't have that. You may walk into a place and go, oh, it's cold in here, somebody walked over my grave, that sort of thing. But you then wouldn't be getting information of who it was or whatever. Now you could view it and take notes as to what you felt you were getting. I was involved in this one time. I was asked by a local paper to go and look at a place that had a specific ghost. I'd not heard anything about it. I didn't even know the place existed, and it was only about 20 miles from where I live. But anyway, I went and I saw the ghost, but she just kind of floated back and forth, back and forth. Now, that was a residual energy. It was not a ghostly haunting as such. It was very much a strong residual energy. She could look quite solid, but it was still a residual energy. Now, how I got information on what happened in that place was I went down into the basement of it and started sort of feeling the walls and getting visions of the history, getting visions of what was important about this place and maybe who this woman was. But that was not an interaction. That was me using my clairvoyance rather than mediumship. My clairvoyance in the place, it had so many stories to tell. It had so much happening. In fact, I had a reporter following me about with, I think they did a cameraman, but they also had somebody with a voice thing. And he got whiter and whiter and whiter when I was telling him something that I sensed that was quite horrific. And he said he wanted to go. He just wanted to go. He wasn't staying. And it was when we went back in the car, he told me the history of the place. And I basically sensed a lot of the horrific things that had happened in it. And he was, oh my goodness, he was really freaked out by the whole thing. I think he felt maybe initially that they were going to do, it was a Halloween thing, going to do a Halloween special for, you know, the newspaper and get Colette to see if she could see the ghost. I don't think he believed in this stuff, but I think he believed in it afterwards. So there you go. So let's see. How do you tell the residual energy of the spirit? Kind of that way. A spirit will have a sense of spiritual connection. A residual energy is what it is. It's an energy. It doesn't feel cognitive. A spirit, you'll feel a consciousness and a cognitive energy. A residual energy, you won't. So I hope that's answered your question, Nina. I'll try and do the middle one, but it would be further next year, I think. But if you like the question answer videos and if you think you benefit from them, give me a thumbs up. Please share the video if you want to. And please make sure you're subscribed with the bell notification. And if you'd like to support the channel, there's a wee coffee symbol down below that you can buy me a £4 coffee. But that's up to you, and I'm happy just to be here telling you my stories. Anyway, many blessings now. Bye.